I reviewed an old journal entry of mine from April 18th, 2018. This was roughly 8 months after my wife said she no longer wanted to be married. So this was very early on in my divorce process. I wanted to show this video today because if you're like me, sometimes I feel like I don't see how people get to their journey. A lot of times I will just assume it was easy for them or they were just always like that. And as I was reading this, I really saw a lot of the old mindsets that I had, a lot of the struggles that I was dealing with, and just where I was in the process. This was roughly almost 9 years ago now. So I've grown a lot, but I've also see a lot of the similar patterns. So in this video, we'll break down just what I was going through, where I was. Maybe this will shine some light onto you of what could be possible if you decide to make some changes. This is all in the school group. I've been posting my dates consistently. If you've seen those last couple videos, all my date breakdowns are in there. I have other date breakdowns. I'll show you. This is in the classroom of the school group, Becoming Unstoppable reports. I have my most recent field reports. I have the 60-day challenge reports, if you're interested in that, when I was doing the 10 approaches a day. And now I'm going through and updating and putting in old field reports just so you can see my progress over the years. And I put in one yesterday. Yesterday's was the first girl that I slept with since my divorce. So 8 months after everything happened and me moving out of Wisconsin. So at this time, I'm in Boston, starting this new chapter of my life. It took me many months to even sleep with a new girl, to build up some social skills. I was very much a hard case. Wasn't really able to socialize without drinking. Didn't know how to really escalate. Still didn't feel that attractive to women. Some of this will show in this field report. This one specifically, I wanted to do today because I specifically say in there that I'm going to do what it takes to make this work. I've mentioned this quite a few times that no one's coming to save you. If you feel stuck after a divorce or a breakup and you don't know what to do, realize that no one is coming to save you. No one's going to take you to the gym. No one's going to help you build social skills. No one's going to move you out of your town. You're going to have to take some actions to get the life that you want. So this is pretty early on in the journey, but you can see that I'm looking to change my life around. So some of the things you can read through this, I'm not going to go through everything. But some of the stuff I want to point out, I noticed very early on, I say that I'm not having any passion for my job. I can't see doing this for the next 20 years. At the time, I was working for an insurance company doing software development. I never liked it in school. I never thought I was very good at it. I still was not very good at it. A lot of this could have just been limiting beliefs of me thinking I'm not good at it, so I don't try. But I also never had interest in it. I didn't like coding. I didn't like looking up how to solve the problem of debugging if the update comes and stuff's not working. It just wasn't for me. So I had that mindset very early on. This is not what I wanted to do. I do come back to it here and there because the money is very good. But in my mind, I knew I couldn't do this forever. But what I also noticed in this field report is that I want to be the kind of guy that can go out sober. He can still be himself. He doesn't need to drink. I said, I want to move to Vegas. This is when it gets in my mind that I want to go to Vegas so I can become good at game and become the real me. For me, game is not all about just sleeping with women, getting as many body counts as you can. For me, it was always about becoming as attractive as possible so that I can bring women into my life. The more that I grow, the more people I will bring into my life, the higher quality I'll get. It really got me on the path of becoming a man, being able to take feedback, being able to lead, being able to emotionally regulate, not take things personally, be able to set boundaries, set goals, set discipline. So game has really been a huge impact on my life. And this very early on, I knew how important this was going to be for me. So I knew I was going to go to Vegas. I mentioned I'm very confident when I'm drinking. I felt very cocky, didn't really hesitate with what to say. That's probably like who we all are as normal people. Like when you're drinking, you let your filters down. I don't care so much about what people think of me. So I'm just expressing myself. But I also mentioned that I feel depressed when I am drinking because to me, when I see 40-year-olds at the bars still drinking, it's a little sad to me. I don't want to be that guy. I easily could be. I've done it plenty of times, and then I feel depressed the next day. I'm sick for a few days. My diet goes to shit. I don't really ever even get good results like pulling or meeting new people. So it's even more sad that you did all this stuff, spent all this money, feel like shit. You hang out with people that you probably wouldn't normally spend time with anyways. You don't remember shit. Yeah, so very early on in the process, I recognized I want to be the guy that can go out and not drink. I will work on being comfortable around people without drinking. I knew this April 18th, 2018. I'll tell you now, this is something that I've dealt with at least for the last, well, 8 years ago. The last year and a half, I maybe had one alcoholic drink in that time. If I have one on a date, I don't really care. I'm not going to go out and drink to practice social skills anymore, though. I'm just going to face that anxiety. I'm going to learn the skill set. If I can't handle it, I'll just go home. But this is a recurring theme of me saying, I want to be this guy. I want to be the guy that can go out, be himself, be fun, not need drinks. And some nights I will do it. I'll keep posting these old reports in the school group. You can see the progression. I'm sure I have some, I know I have some interesting stories, but we'll see which ones I actually wrote up. I wasn't as consistent with it back then as I could have been, but there's a lot of themes that'll come up. Alcohol, diet, weed becomes an issue a few years into Vegas. So it's interesting to see that I'm recognizing I want to be that kind of guy. I don't want to have to go out to drink. I want to just be the real me. That's why I want to move to Vegas, to become the real me, to learn the game. And you'll see it over the years. Like I mentioned, I get to Vegas, I start to have a lot of results, but then I have either success barriers or I let drinking take over or diet take over. And I don't actually, I do get a lot of results. I do become more social. I feel like I have become more masculine. I set more boundaries, but I felt like I left a lot on the table. So maybe I'll break down some more of these in the future. If you guys like them, you can let me know in the comments if you want to see more. You can also check them out in the school group. It's free. But yeah, I also talk about how I'm going about practicing my social skills. I started off very shy, very quiet. I I was told in high school people liked it when I was high because then I would talk. Same with drinking. Like people liked it when I was messed up because I would express myself. And I've heard from when I was married that I should be more outgoing, like Rob Deerdick. So I was trying to really work on this stuff. For me, it was much easier to work, like to feel social when was just practicing with everybody, talking to the wait staff, joking with waitresses, talking to the people at the bar. This is stuff that I just still do now. I don't even think about it. I just do it. This is the person that I've become over the years through practice, through repetition, through doing this since 2018. It's just become who I am. Could I still improve even more? Yes. But this is where my mindset started to kick in of, yes, I need to just be the social guy. That's the guy I want to be. So I'm going to practice in the situations I can. So I mentioned it's fun having with talks with the waitress. I got in for free for pool. And yeah, and I can't say for sure that I did well. Let's see what it says. This came from me drinking though. So yeah, so I did it, but I was drinking. So when I was drinking, I could do it. In my mind, I knew I wanted to be the guy that just did it without the crutch. Yeah. And then how important it was for me to meet somebody who was like-minded. If you guys are hanging out with friends who go out to the bars and drink every weekend and don't talk to girls or don't want to improve their dating lives or don't want to just improve their lives in general with fitness, education, um, business, just learning new things, then it's going to be difficult to do that. You become the five people you hang out with the most. So if you hang out with those people, you're not going to have the same goals. So it was great to meet. I won't say his name. I'll redact it. You've probably heard me mention him on the videos before, so you can decipher that out. But it was great to have a guy who we could talk about this stuff with. It's great to have George. He's the same way. He wants to improve his life. He wants to get better. We talk, we figure out, feedback, what we can do different. So very helpful. And then I also talk about going to the strip club. I haven't been to a strip club in many years. It was very fun. And we didn't go there to spend money. We didn't go there to just, try to buy girls' affection. I did have some drinks there, have a good time. I can kind of go, I kind of go over how I'm not trying to give so much validation to just one girl. Like, this girl was cute. I had in my mind she didn't even like me. There's things that I noticed that I could do to make her, or to just be more myself, I guess. But it was just an interesting story. We were trying to break rapport, telling them right away we don't want to go upstairs with them. This will happen a lot when you go to strip clubs. They'll want to take you backstage, or they'll want you to spend money on dances right away. So it's a good learning experience of like how to flirt, set boundaries, but still have fun, give them a good time. But one thing I really noticed was that I say at the very end is, I'll keep working on myself and meeting people. And when I'm at the club and she's there, I can talk to her and use it as contact for other strippers. So I'm trying to like not be needy, not trying to just focus on one girl. And then I say, I will make this work. So in my mind, this is what I decided to go to Boston for, was to practice my social skills to become this guy. I have a lot of issues with drinking, with self-doubt, not thinking that I'm good enough for these girls, not thinking I'm giving them a good enough time. But I realize I'm going to make this work. I don't have another solution. If I don't work on my social skills and I don't figure out how to be flirty and be attractive to women, then my other option is to sit at home, be alone, play video games. And for me, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be the guy that could socialize, that can give people a good time, that was just the real me. I didn't want to be, I felt like I was just leaving stuff on the table playing video games. I knew half the time when I was playing them, I was bored, didn't care about the results, just using it as an escape. So very early on, I could see that I was going to do whatever it takes to make this work. One of the things, first thing I had to do, obviously, was move to Boston. But then I could see in this thing, the next thing I needed to do was to move to Las Vegas. I could get even more social practice. I would have more guys that were of the same mindset, looking to improve. So this was really a good breakdown for me to look back on, and just to see where I was, to see that I was dedicating myself to this. I was going to make this work. I was not going to have excuses of it's too hard, or women don't like me, I'll just give up. Some of the stuff I also said I would work on was my voice. And I tried to consciously speak downtone, speak louder, speak with more emotion, more pitch, more up and down, try to move my cadence. Sometimes I definitely still get monotoned. I'm well aware of that. But if you had known me back then, I would have talked much, much quieter. I would have been probably more nasally. Still would have been the nice guy talking up. Can I help you? Oh, that's great. Yes. So these are things that I consciously been working on. If that's something that you struggle with, just know that you can improve your voice. You can talk deeper, talk with your chest instead of your throat. These are all things that I've been working on, and it's changed my life. I can see how much farther I've come over the years. I see that it is disappointing to realize that it took me 7 years to finally stop using alcohol to go out. I didn't do it every time, but I definitely felt way more social when I was drinking. So I used it as a crutch quite a bit. I can also work on spiking emotions more and digging deeper with people. So, like, getting to know them, asking questions about them. Because I was shy and quiet, I assumed people didn't like me. So I didn't try to get to know them. I didn't know what questions to ask. I was probably more in my head about wondering if they liked me rather than just trying to get to know them. So these are all things that I started to work on. What I will do next time, better eye contact. Eye contact is huge. Break rapport more often. Girls don't want a nice guy that just agrees with them on everything. Have your own opinions. Tease them. This is all stuff that I've been working on. And approach more often and faster. This is something that for a long time I struggled with. It's really when I got to Minneapolis, where I started to do one a day, then Mexico one a day, and then Brisbane, I took it up another level. And now I'm just kind of just doing it on autopilot. I've been doing approaches here every day, even though it's not ideal. But it's just a continually, I guess the message of the video is just like, it's a continuous process. I didn't just start to have this dating life where I'm getting all these likes and matches. I'm able to go get dates from Day Game. I'm able to sleep with girls in an hour after meeting them right in front of the apartment. Like this stuff didn't just happen. The report I wrote before this was April 17th. Like I said, this was the first girl I slept with after the divorce. And I was in my head. I was terrible at sex. I just was happy to finally have slept with somebody new that wasn't my wife. She had moved on 8 months ago. She's been doing her own thing. And it took me 8 months before I was even competent enough to meet a girl and then sleep with her. So it's a work in progress. Hopefully that just kind of shines some light to you on, what the journey might look like if this is something that you're looking to get into. Maybe it shows you that you're not as far behind as you think you are. Maybe you're on the cusp of getting the life that you want. It doesn't have to be just dating related. A lot of this stuff was business, like me just knowing that I don't want to do software development. So I started to take steps to get out of that. I moved to Vegas because I wanted to take steps to improve my social life. I wanted to become the guy that doesn't drink. So I started to, consciously try to at least improve myself in that area. I could see it. I defined that I wanted to be that guy. Yes, it's a learning process. I made a lot of mistakes. But I did have that in my mind that I wanted to be that guy. And when I was married, I didn't do any of this stuff. I just coasted. We got married, stayed in Missouri until I was done with the military. Then we just went to school, just picked the first degree I could find that would be guaranteed job placement. Then we moved to Wausau, Wisconsin, because it was the first place that I could get a job. I didn't even look for other jobs. It's just like, okay, I got that one done. Then I would come home and I would play video games because I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't really trying to grow as a person. I didn't define who I wanted to be. I just felt like, okay, I'm unconfident. I'm quiet. I don't have friends. I'll just be a guy who plays video games. I'll just get by. I'll go to work. I'll do my housework. I'll take the dogs for a walk. Our marriage is what it is. I don't know what I should do otherwise. We're just going to sit home, watch TV. We'll laugh together, and then we'll go to bed, not have sex. We'll wake up in the morning with not that great of sleep because I ate garbage food all the time, never worked out, never even, I didn't even eat eggs until 5 years ago. It was all just fast food, carbs, garbage. But once everything ended, I consciously made the choice that I wanted to improve. And I'm just trying to make little improvements all the time. So this is the start of the journey. At this point in Boston, I started working out. I started drinking like green juice. That was a huge thing for me. I never tried new foods, started taking supplements, started to go out, started to at least think about being able to do this without drinking. In Wisconsin, I knew for me to be social, I had to drink. So Christmas parties, if coworkers had a little party, I knew I'd be drinking because then I would be fun. It never occurred to me to be the guy that was just sober. But as I seen how I can improve as a man, how I can continue to get better, I realized that for me to become the best version of myself or a better version of myself, I don't think you can actually become the best version of yourself. But for me to be a better version of myself, I can't be a guy that's relying on alcohol. I don't want to be the guy at the club who's 40 years old, who's still drunk, trying to talk to girls, hanging by himself. It's just not the look that I wanted. I'll leave it at that. And like I said, if you want to read more of these, you can join the school group. It's free. I have all my field reports since I've been in Pattaya, Thailand. I have some dates where I go over how I escalated, things that went well, things that didn't go well. You saw those videos. The last couple dates, crazy stuff happened, or at least the last one with the rabies shot. But be warned, some of this is graphic. I do go over my escalation in the bedroom. I do go over just being dominant, things like that. So definitely improved over the years. Hopefully this kind of shows you that no matter where you are now, there are improvements that you can make. You can become a better version of yourself if you consciously decide. This was really just the start. Decided I was going to go to Vegas, and I knew that was going to be a good place for me to grow. And, 9 years later, I've traveled many places in the world that I never would have guessed. Never would have guessed I'd be in Thailand. Never guessed I would have been going to Australia to help clients. Like, it just, because I've been practicing so much. No one would want to hire me as this guy who can't socialize or speak or has any life lessons or learned anything along the way. But I consciously made the choice that I wanted to try to become the man I am now. I feel like I've still left a lot on the table. There's more I can do, but I'm going to keep adjusting. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to just quit. I'm not going to just stop and, I guess, play video games again or just mind numb on TV. I'm going to go on dates. I'm going to write these reports. I'm going to improve my social skills. I'm going to help guys improve their lives. Yeah. So I will leave it at that. I hope you guys are doing great. Let me know in the comments or anything that I can do for you guys. What do you want to see? What would be helpful for you? I don't want to focus specifically only on dating. I think divorce recovery is a big part of my story, just getting through and starting this journey in the first place. So I think going forward, I'll start making some videos on steps that I took to even get to this point. This was a huge point for me to go and move to an entirely new city that I've never been in. I'm from small town Wisconsin. I've never lived in a huge city like Boston before. I didn't know anybody there. I had the real story. The story is I got some moles lasered off on my face. I wish I would have kept a picture of this. Lasered off on my face. I'm driving to Boston for 2 days. In the middle of the night, my face is bleeding. My back is bleeding from all these moles that were lasered off. And then it ended up being the coldest New Year's in 100 years. So just epic stories. It just showed I just wanted to become that guy. I'll take the risk. I will figure this shit out. So I'll leave it there. I said that many times. That's it for now. Peace.